Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Fear Equation. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 15 bucks. So Fear Equation is made by the same people who did Safe House Diaries 2 and Dead Knot. Those are games that I, for the most part, enjoyed. Safe House Diaries 2 specifically because I like the whole zombies theme. But this particular studio, Screwfly Studios, makes a very unique style of game, some of which is great, like some parts of the games that they make are great, other parts not so much. Now, Fear Equation puts you in charge of a train. You are the conductor, you can choose when to go, when to stop, you choose your destinations. You're sort of like the manager, you see everything. Well, you don't physically see everything, but you're in control of everything in one tiny cabin. And it's your job to try to get to your destination on the map. You're going to be stopping along the way, picking up resources, and picking up people as you go. Now, the game is played out over days, and every day there are 4 phases. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what they all are, but in the very beginning of a day, typically you've got this lottery phase, which involves picking randomly or manually choosing who is going to do missions for that day, assuming that you're at a city to collect resources. But not every day will you be at a city, so sometimes that doesn't matter. So first is the lottery phase, and then you're moving on to this orders phase, which you're going to assign orders per cabin. Each train or each carriage can hold up to five people, and you're going to tell each carriage to do something. And you can typically have them either upgrade your train as a whole, like you can say, I want you to improve my power systems, or I want you to improve my structure, or my radio room, and so on. So you can upgrade parts of your train, or you can have them create defenses for their particular carriage. And you'll be using resources, like I said, that you'll be collecting along the way. Now, there are monsters in this game, monster types. Okay, you've got this fog, and the fog represents the bad guy that's chasing you. And when the fog does catch up to you, the fog will manifest itself into monsters that your people have recently dreamed about. So if you go into your notebook and you look at carriage 1 and you look at their dreams, typically they'll dream about monsters and particular monster types. Like one carriage might concentrate on beasts. So if they mostly dream about beasts, then more than likely the next time the fog attacks your train, beasts are going to invade that particular carriage. So they can construct defenses that are unique to that beast type, or to that monster type, which in that case is beasts. Some monsters, I think there were like snakes and spiders and soldiers, different monster types. You're going to be constructing different defenses for different carriages based on the dreams that these people are having. Now that sounds really cool, right? If they do attack at night, again, the game is broken up over 4 phases. When they do attack at night, there's nothing you can do. You're just hoping that everything is kosher when you wake up the next day. So there's no direct control over that. So getting back to the main 4 phases, again, you've got the lottery, you've got the orders. You can also tell carriages to move food or medical supplies or other resources from one carriage to another. Again, during that orders phase, you can have them construct upgrades to your train or construct defenses for that particular carriage. The third phase of a day is the work phase, and there's nothing you can do there. You just fast forward time and they will work to complete these things. Now, if you actually stopped at a city, if you're at a city at this point, you can actually send the people out that you've designated via lottery to go out. You can plan what buildings to go into, collect resources, and come back, but you're on a time limit. The fog will start eating their faces off around, I think it's like the 2 minute, there's a timer on the right. And if they're out in the area too long, then they'll die because the fog has consumed them. It's rather nasty. So you can either manually plan, tell them where to go, or you can have the computer set everything up for you. I've been doing that, but I found that the computer isn't always efficient when they do that. Um, what I don't like though is the difficulty in which planning it's too difficult to plan out because you've got one computer button that says fog, and that will tell you what buildings in that area are more heavily infested with fog than other buildings, but it's just an overlay. So you have to keep toggling back and forth between your plan tab and your fog tab, and then you're moving people around. So it's like planning out missions in this game is more complicated than it needs to be, in my opinion. So I just have the computer do it automatically, and I hope for the best. I'm sure if I played the game a lot more and get used to it more, I'd be able to plan this out better, but I find the planning there cumbersome. So that's another thing that'll happen during the work phase. If people aren't building defenses and upgrading parts of your terrain, the power, the structure, the radio, then they're going out, getting resources, and coming back, and hopefully not dying. The fourth phase of a day is the guard phase, and nothing happens there that you can control. It's sort of like an end of day phase. You go to bed, and there's a possible attack on your train, depending on how thick the fog is around your train at that point. There's a little meter toward the front of your train where the map is that'll tell you how thick the fog is there. So that's the general gameplay progression. Your train will start in one part of the map. You're trying to get to your destination. Along the way, you're going to stop. The fog will be more dense in certain areas and follow you and stuff like that. Like other Screwfly games, you can create custom portraits and characters. You can create, there's two parts to this. There's the custom engineer, which is you, and then you can create modifiers for yourself as you're playing. You can also create portraits and profiles for the passengers that you're going to be finding along the way. Again, these passengers are in the area, and you rescue them, and they come on board your train, and these are the people that are going to be in your lottery, going out doing things, fixing carriages, 5 per carriage. So there's that. So I love the fact that you can assign them jobs, and like if you're setting up a profile, this person can be an architect, this person can be a police officer, and that will affect their stats accordingly. You can also give them skill points and various attributes. So, yeah, that's cool. It reminds me of Zafe House Diaries and Zafe House Diaries 2, because you could do the same thing there. Again, all of this is cool. It's just that the game is confusing. Every station in this game has a manual that you have to read through, and sometimes you're still left scratching your head going, well, wait a minute. If I turn the power off during a raid on a location, if I send 5 people out during the work phase to a location to loot stuff, if I turn the engine off, then the fog won't come at me as quickly, and they have more time to explore. But this also drains my power on my train, and if I run out of power on my train, then people disappear. So it's like you're trying to figure out, okay, so how do I do this? What's the most efficient way to do this? So this mechanic is affecting this. Oh, how do I plan? So there are parts of this game that aren't well explained, and it's going to take you a number of tries to really hone in on certain strategies and how to not die, basically. And I'm not at that point yet where I figured this game out to a T. Zafe House Diaries I'm pretty good at. It took me a while. This game, it's going to be the same way. You're going to be spending a number of playthroughs, fine-tuning things, figuring things out through trial and error. You will find that there's a military faction in the world somewhere. They will chase you. There's like a fearless faction or something that will attack your team on occasion. Events pop up from time to time. Do you side with this faction or this faction? Like your survivors are broken up into factions, so sometimes they will clash with each other. So you're going to have you're going to have a number of things happening in this game, RNG wise, that you have no control over. I was like, I couldn't find fuel anywhere in my first playthrough, and it was frustrating. I stopped at every location along the way that I thought would have fuel, and it didn't have fuel. So, like, again, sometimes RNG is just going to just kick you in the butt in this game, and that'll be it. It's just unfortunate. I wish I could customize the game a bit more in that regard, like customize the locations, what they have available to me. That way it makes the gameplay easier. But overall, as a game, I enjoyed it. Again, I don't think that some of the mechanics are explained well enough. I don't like the planning phase where you're sending people out and toggling between computer tabs. I don't like that. I do like the custom engineer setup and the custom passenger setups. I like that. I like the overall premise and the theme of the game. But as a character, you really don't affect much. You're setting things in motion via computer screens and you're watching things happen. Again, if you've played Dead Knot, which is, I think, their previous game, it's something similar to that, if you've played it. So, do I recommend this? Yes, but to a very specific style of person, because, again, these games are weird. Screwfly Studios, like I said, makes a really strange style of game, very unique niche, and unless you're really into it, you're going to be like, well, this is frustrating, or I don't get it, and it's stupid. Or you're going to be like, this is absolutely fantastic, I get it, it clicks, I want to keep playing it. You're going to be in either camp, you know? So I would recommend, like, if you're not sure, try either Safe House Diaries or Dead Knot first. They may be cheaper, I don't know, but that'll give you some clue as to what you're getting into should you decide to pick up Fear Equation. So, yeah, I recommend it on a sale. I'm enjoying it, but there are a number of things that I would change. I wish I had more custom options in terms of setting things up, but all in all, it was enjoyable. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.